In order to apply the Practice Standard 001 in the financial planning step, in this instance, the practitioner should disclose his area of expertise and the range of services provided to the client, and also in certain way should also declare which services that he will not perform. Okay, so we make it clear that we cover certain area, but we didn't cover certain area. So it is important to highlight that to the client. Number 2, the practitioner need to spend sufficient time at the start to briefly explain what financial planning means to the client in a layman term, for example. So the explanation should cover some of the areas that has been outlined here, which includes explanation on types of personal assets, because like sometimes the client, they are not sure what does it mean by cash and cash equivalents, classes of assets and applications, business cycle, tax impacts, dollar cost averaging concept. Once you keep the money over the long or period of time, is still better rather than you put the saving in one lump sum. So you simply apply the concept that you have learned in the financial planning itself. And information about risk and insurance, risk, investment, all of these are very important for you to explain to your client in the first instance of the meeting. Now we look at the code RPS CP02, which is related to exhibiting transparency in dealings with the client. Exhibiting here means that you express or you show transparency in dealings with the clients. And in this regard, a financial planner shall make clear to the client of his competency, authority, license to operate, compensation arrangement, and disclosure of potential areas that have a conflict of interest implication. Alright, so in this instance, you have to make sure that the client interest is always put as a priority, and you have to serve the client professionally and must disclose the information, especially the information related to your compensation structure. Alright, so in respect to the application of the practice standard of CP02, you have to serve the client interest first, and it is important for you to disclose your compensation structure clearly to your client, so he might not have a wrong implications later on, okay, towards you. The third one is about RPS CP03, that is committing to serve the client competently and responsibly. So again, in conjunction with RPS CP02, financial practitioner shall pledge to serve the client competently and responsibly at all the times. And if you look at the interpretive notes, it focuses on the client interest serve as a priority, and the need of the financial planner to commit to lifelong learning in order to be updated with relevant knowledge in the field, okay, in order to be competent while they are doing their job. Okay, so this is what has been suggested in code RPS CP03. So all of these codes are very important. We have another codes later on that we're going to look at, and basically you have to memorize what actually means by all of these codes, and how to apply for it. You need to have some basic idea, and it is important for you to prepare your notes based on each of the codes that has been outlined by MFPC. If we look at the next page, it is related to how you should brief your client. you should brief your client in the first meeting using these three main guidelines. The first one is where you have to define the financial planning process briefly using a layman terms. Secondly is for you to describe the role of the financial practitioner. What is your role in the financial planning process, your parameters, what scope that you cover, what scope you didn't cover. And the third one is for you to describe the financial planning process in detail. Okay, so here, after this, you're going to look at some sort of script on how you are going to start the conversation with the financial planner. So, in terms of script, what kind of language, what kind of sentence, what kind of word that you should use, this is some kind like of a main guideline for you to talk to your client. You have to actually memorize it because once you are in the field, you know actually the right words or the right sentences on how you should approach your client. All right, so in a layman term, based on these three brief contents, okay, so in the layman terms, how you're going to explain financial planning to the client, you may say something like this. Basically, in the financial planning process, I will attempt to help you to identify your financial needs and resources and outline a plan of action to help you achieve goals and objectives that you desire. Okay, so this is the script which you have to memorize. And once you work as a financial planner outside during, for example, during your LI, okay, you have to practice all of this language because you cannot simply use your own personal language when you are dealing with your client. Okay, this is because I've been working with the bank in the past. So in the bank, we have all of these scripts. I mean, not exactly the same like this, but we have a comprehensive script on how we should talk to the client, how we should take a phone call, how we should respond through text messages, for example. What if the client asks us this question, how we should answer in a proper way. So it is some kind like of a standard answer that we must follow at all the times, and we cannot just simply use our own language for us to deal with the client. So same goes with you, because this is what we call as a professional profession. This is the profession that you are in, and you have to follow the rules and guideline that has been set in this industry. Okay. Or you may something, like once it is related to the products or the solution. So let's explain a little bit about the compensation or remuneration, for example. You should say something like this. I like to clarify that the services I'm offering is not a product or a solution, but a roadmap guiding you to make decisions, and products or other services that will help solve your financial problems. There will be some reasonable charges for doing the work, and these charges will be fully disclosed to you before the work starts. Is that fair? All right. So this is the intonation that you have, that you must practice. And I didn't say that, like it is easy. No, it's not that easy. But you have to memorize it. You have to practice again and again. Only then you'll be achieving this level. All right. Just now you explained about the financial planning in a layman term. Now, next is about describing your roles in the financial planning process. So here are basically the script that you should use in order to, this is main reference or main guideline on how you should explain your roles in the financial planning process. Next is about describing the financial planning process, the 6 step. Okay, so we have 6 steps, and in this you are going to explain, for example, in the stage 1, explain the financial planning process to the client. Let me briefly explain what the financial process entails. It consists of the 6 steps as follow, and then you explain to the client one by one, and the major areas covered includes the risk management, estate planning, investment, etc., etc. And then you explain about the preparation that leads to the financial product selection. Okay, so you need to have, number 1, obviously, knowledge for you to explain to your client, and 2, how you're going to deliver the knowledge or the information to the client professionally and effectively. Okay, that is a challenge that you have to do when you are working in this field, because as I said before, you need to have a good relationship between you and your client should be very well informed about the your responsibility, as well as the parameters, the scope, the process of the financial planning itself. Alright, once the client has been properly briefed and is ready to engage the financial planner to begin the preparation of the financial plan, a letter of engagement is issued and signed by the client to signify the start of the relationship. Okay, so this is the sample of letter of engagement, where here is some kind of declaration, the scope of the financial planning task covered by the financial planner. Okay, you should read all of this, and it is some kind of agreement that the financial planner will keep all the private document confidentially, and also information about compensation, and will be signed by the financial practitioner as well as the client. Alright, so when the letter of the engagement has been signed, then it means that the client signed an acknowledgement requesting that the financial planner to prepare the financial plan. The client signs an authorization for financial planner to retrieve relevant information from the bank, for the various institution, financial information of the client, it means. The financial planner makes an appointment with the client to present the plan and give the client an estimation of the time required to produce the plan. Alright, so as we can see here, this is the document for official request to prepare a financial plan. It's some kind of an agreement that client actually requests the financial planner, okay, to prepare a comprehensive financial plan based on the information provided during discussion on certain date, as well as the agreement on the fees for the preparation of the plan, and the amount made will be paid once the financial plan is submitted to the client. So the official request to prepare a financial plan comprise of the name of the client, the name of the practitioner, the firms that you represent, the fee for the job done, as well as the limitation of the plan. Okay, the next is about, if, for example, the financial planner need to access certain information from certain institution. Okay, so this is the form that need to be prepared. That is the official request to access information, because as in this case, the client requests the financial planner to prepare the financial planning report. Therefore, now, in the case that financial planner need to access the information, therefore this letter or this document need to be prepared, where the client actually give or allowed the financial planner to retrieve, okay, to access the information related to the insurance or EPF, a bank account, unit trust, etc., etc. So this is some kind of the authority has been given to the financial planner to access the financial information related to the client. Alright, so lastly is On agreeing on the next appointment, once the necessary agenda has been finalized, the practitioner should get the client to immediately agree to the next meeting. This will help to ensure that the client is committed to a further discussions once the plan is ready. It's also help to set a time frame for the planner to complete the job based on the time required to produce the plan. Alright, that's all for chapter 3. Assalamualaikum and bye-bye.